All right, I've been up since about 4:30 in the morning. Had to deal with a couple customer issues. Had a small bowl of cereal and some orange juice somewhere before 6 a.m. It's now afternoon. I'm hungry, and there's not much in the house. Not enough meat to make a sandwich. Not even in the mood for a sandwich. I'm taking a little bit of an elongated break, but restaurants aren't really open at this time, so they closed a while ago for lunch. So I got a couple options, and what I'm going to do is decide I'm going to play with some ramen here today. Done this before quite a few times. I have two choices. Something I like to refer to as midnight ramen. Comes in a little styrofoam cup. Add water. Tastes like you're eating a bouillon cube because that's what you're eating. You can make that better. We'll talk about that in a moment. But today I'm actually going to start with one of these, and I call this Cellophane Ramen. Size is a little more conducive. It comes with a few more flavors, but we're still not going to use the package. There's three levels of ramen in my opinion. First level, just follow their instructions, and if you like bouillon, you'll be happy. Second level, get rid of the water, replace it with stock, broth, whatever your preference is. Toss out the flavor packet, use some soy or some fish sauce. That'll make a hell of a difference. And then there's the last level, and that is the second level, but you're going to add something fresh to it. And hallmark of Asian food is fresh. So I know I have some bok choy from a night or two ago when we made Chinese. It's all just running together. I know there's some roast beef in there, not enough for sandwiches, I said. And there's a couple other things in there. So I'm going to take a look at what we got, see what magic I can work with it, and sort of just walk you through the steps to making the third level of ramen. Hope you enjoy this. If you do, please consider subscribing, ringing the bell so you get another notification when I post something else, and hit like so I know that you actually enjoyed this. So, when you're thinking about ramen, you gotta decide what it is you're looking for. I'm looking for something like this. Not level 1 ramen. More like this. We definitely don't want that level 1 ramen. So our goal is here. So we're going to take away the water, take away the flavor packet, and we're going to replace it with a little bit of water and some beef broth, because I'm in the mood for some beef ramen. And I'm going to need some fish sauce to add some salt to it, and then we're going to have some fun here. So next thing I have to do is see what I've got in the fridge, and what I found is some bok choy, a couple of mushrooms, some zucchini, hard-boiled egg, baby spinach, mung bean sprouts, some rotisserie chicken, that's actually the last of the carcass, and one lonely piece of roast beef. So we have to think about what's going to go. We're going to use beef stock, so what don't we want? Well, as long as I have bok choy, I'm not going to choose baby spinach, and chicken doesn't really go with beef stock, so they're out of here. Next thing we do is start prepping the vegetables, and we don't need all that bok choy, so we took 3 leaves and we cut the tails off of that. Next, slice up the roast beef, turn it into something that you use, mouth-sized portions, bite-sized portions. Next, we have to turn those mushrooms into something that the broth can cook fairly quickly and is perfect for your mouth. Next thing to do is I'll need to show you how we actually prep the zucchini. It is a bit of an interesting task, but it is well worth the effort. Okay, so here we've got our food all prepped for our ramen bowl. Looking at that, thinking, you know what? I really want the hard-boiled egg in it. So we're going to now slice that up and get to it. So there we have it. got rid of those extra little stems off there. And this is what's going to happen. We're going to start the broth, add the mushrooms, add the noodles. When the noodles are cooked, we're going to put the ends of the bok choy in the broth to cook them a little bit because they're a little bit tough. And then we're going to plate it. I'm going to move the camera back just a little bit so we can get out the steam path. Let's take the speed up a little more also. Alright, now we're going to add our noodles. Start our 3-minute timer. I'm going to pop that. Alright, we're just about the end of our 3 minutes. I'm going to turn this way down. And we're going to put the stems of the sauce, because we want these stems, which are a little bit thicker, to cook. Just leave that there for another minute. It hates me. Out there, we're going to turn this completely off right now. Now we've got just enough time. We're just going to blanch these a little bit in the liquid, just for a minute or two, and then we're going to plate it. All right. We've put the ramen in the bowl. Notice they're a little darker because we did cook them in the broth. Moved all the mushrooms to one side. Now let's turn this into what you typically think of a bowl of ramen. So what you normally see is things going in little piles. And I should note that the broth is back on the heat because I want it really hot, because things like these mung beans are going to be a little difficult to cook. Next thing I want to do is put this beef right here, right next to that. Then I'm going to take these, just set them here. This is why we're heating up the broth again. We want it to be warm to take care of these raw vegetables here. The last thing we're going to do is put the eggs here. And then these really don't have a good home. This bowl's a little small, so I'm just going to put them around the edge because it looks good. And the last thing to do is put a little broth in. Oops, look, a snack. Alright, broth is boiling. Now, it wants to go everywhere, but we're just going to mainly target those uncooked vegetables so they can get the brunt of it. And that is it. The bowl is full. And that is the top level of ramen, in my opinion. We have taken a simple package of cellophane noodles and turned it into something wonderful. Now that they're gone, it's time to... Dudes, it's my lunchtime. You can go away. I just did the video so you can see how I was making my lunch, not so you can watch me eat it. Damn, that's good. You're still here.